invisible currents of a luminous highway, a corridor where the veil between dimensions is so thin it is almost transparent. Greenland is the anchor for this frequency. It is the solid matter that holds the ethereal gate. Think of it as a hinge in the timeline of Earth. A hinge is a small mechanism, often overlooked, painted over, and forgotten. But upon it rests the movement of the entire structure. If the hinge turns one way, the door opens to a timeline of sovereignty, abundance, and galactic integration. If it is forced the other way, the door slams shut, locking the planet into a cycle of technocratic surveillance and spiritual suppression. This is why the attention of every intelligence agency, every shadow faction, and every starry-eyed dreamer is currently fixated on this one island. The hinge is squeaking, the pressure is building, the rust of the dark ages is breaking off, and the entities that have treated your planet as a plantation for thousands of years are terrified because they know the door is beginning to move on its own. But before we speak of the shadows that seek to hold the door shut, let us speak of the light that holds the line. Deep within the geometric center of this northern node, buried beneath miles of dielectric ice that acts as a natural shield against the chaotic thought forms of the surface population, there sits a presence. It is an active installation of the Ashtar command. When I say installation, do not let your mind conjure images of cold metal bunkers, barbed wire, or the crude angular architecture of human militaries. The Federation does not build in opposition to nature. We build in harmony with it. The station there is constructed of field harmonics and dimensional phasing. It exists in the space between the ice crystals. It is a stabilizing monitor, a cosmic pressure valve designed to balance the tectonic plates and the magnetic grid during this volatile transition. This installation has been a guardian of the threshold for eons, watching over humanity like a parent watching a sleeping child, ensuring that the nightmares of the child do not become the reality of the room. It creates a buffer zone, dampening the solar flares and the emotional spikes of the collective consciousness that could otherwise tear the planetary grid apart. But this Federation presence is not the only secret the ice keeps. There is a memory here, older than your recorded history, older than the flood myths, older than the pyramids. There was a time when this land was green, when the skies were different, and when beings of immense stature walked among you. The giant lineage is not a fable invented to frighten children. It is a historical fact that has been aggressively scrubbed from your textbooks, hidden in the basements of your museums, and laughed out of your universities. These beings, the towering ones, were the master builders of the ancient grid. They possessed a biology that could interface directly with the telluric currents of the Earth. They did not use machines to lift stone. They used song. They used resonance. They understood that matter is merely densified sound, and by altering the pitch, they could alter the weight of the world. Greenland holds the operational legacy of this lineage, not